Hey everybody, waiting for a few people to pop on here. Hey, first of all, Gary here with Tennessee Stands. Want to wish you and your family, hope you had an amazing Christmas with family. We certainly did, and certainly want to wish you a happy new year. I wanted to come on real quick. We are getting flooded right now with emails concerning OSHA compliance and what various employers are doing throughout the state in terms of implementing these OSHA requirements. Okay, so I'm going to be really quick with this because I know most of us are on, or some of us hopefully are on holiday right now, and we're trying not to care so much about this, but it's hard not to whenever these mandates keep flooding us, right? And courts are going back and forth. Right now, because the Sixth Circuit has overturned the stay on the OSHA mandate, and I checked their website just to make sure OSHA has put their mandate back in place. Now, it's important that you understand what the OSHA mandate is. The OSHA requirement impacts employers with 100 or more employees. So if you are an employer or an employee that works for a company that has less than 100 employees, this rule does not apply to you. But if you work for a major corporation, you're in this OSHA boat. The OSHA requirement is that these employers must either require vaccination or testing. So one thing I want to make clear is that if your employer is requiring that you get the jab or be fired, they are not only breaking state law, they are in non-compliance with the OSHA regulation, because the OSHA regulation, albeit I think unconstitutional and stupid and all of that, we're all speaking the same language. I'm just telling you what the rule is, okay? The OSHA rule still gives an option for unvaccinated employees to comply by submitting to regular testing. So your employer, even when complying with OSHA, cannot just fire you because you don't want the jab. Okay, so that's one very important caveat. But here's the other thing to know. Okay, and this is crucial that you understand this, because there are going to be patriot employers that are going to reject this OSHA rule. And if you work for one of those employers, God bless you, good for you. But then there are going to be your employers like Costco, who we've already seen their letter that they've sent out to all of their employees. There's going to be the Amazons, the Facebooks, and all those folks that are going to follow the OSHA rule. Now, here's the trick. Any employer, OSHA rule or not, there is no exemption in Title 14 to comply with this OSHA rule. So any employer that enforces this unconstitutional federal overreach via this OSHA rule is breaking state law, period. That's a fact. They are breaking state law. They're breaking Title 14. They're breaking the law that we passed in the special session. Okay? So that's one important thing to recognize. But here's the other thing. If companies don't comply with OSHA, OSHA has the ability to issue citations and fines. If the company breaks state law, there's really no enforcement mechanism in the law other than employees have a cause of action to file a lawsuit, which means that companies have to choose by non-compliance with OSHA and facing penalties and fines, or non-compliance with state law and facing possible lawsuits from their employees. Let me suggest why a lot of these companies are not going to be scared of lawsuits. Because no court that I can imagine in the world, as corrupt as I know the courts are in Tennessee, are going to take this case. They'll sit on it. Why? Because the Supreme Court is scheduled to hear arguments on the CMS mandate and the OSHA mandate on January 7th. And now that there's a hearing date in the Supreme Court, no court's going to touch this. No matter how many lawsuits we file, they're going to defer to the Supreme Court. So a couple of things that doesn't help anyone right now. If you're in the situation where your employer is going to follow this OSHA mandate, there's not a lot of help for you right now, because They're going to do what they're going to do. The only remedy is to file a lawsuit, and courts aren't going to touch it because it's going to the Supreme Court. So you're going to be in limbo. A lot of you are going to lose your jobs if your employer chooses to enact these mandates, albeit wrong, unlawful, and unconstitutional. And the only thing I can think to do right now, number one, is never comply with any of this unlawful nonsense. But number two, we have to be praying for this Supreme Court rule. Because in my view, if the Supreme Court actually rules that employers, that the federal government has this kind of power, this will be the single largest expansion of federal power in modern history. No bones about it. The power that the Supreme Court would now give the federal government to reach down into the state, to reach down to individuals, to reach down into the healthcare decisions of individuals, would be incredible. And so we need to be praying that the Supreme Court strike down these mandates. That's what has to happen. But here's the other thing that can be happening, y'all. Why? I'm just putting it out there. We need leadership. We need leadership in Tennessee. Why is Governor Bill Lee not being vocal every single day about these mandates and protecting the rights of employees in the state of Tennessee? Why is Attorney General Herbert Slattery not fighting these things from a legal perspective vocally on a daily basis? He has in a couple of instances, but he's left our healthcare workers he's hung them out to dry. He's not addressed the OSHA mandate. We're addressing very little legally here in Tennessee, though our state legislature did pass a law that makes these things illegal. Somebody commented money. You're right. I completely agree with you. Even though we passed a law that makes this illegal in the state of Tennessee, the problem is we're left to the courts, and the courts right now are going to defer to the Supreme Court. So I wanted to give you that. That's where things are right now in terms of this OSHA rule. A lot of you are going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. But the fact is, it's at the Supreme Court. That's where it's going to sit, and that's where we have to wait for our answer. In the meantime, as always, don't comply. Don't comply with this lawless nonsense. And I think that there are going to be some patriots that are going to rise to the top. I'm praying that liars and frauds and tyrants are going to get their due, and that God is going to reward the faithful, and that truth always wins. And even though in the heat of the battle, gosh, it feels like we lose all the time, doesn't it? It just feels like we're always losing. But I have to believe that if we hold firm, that we win. And so patriots, hold the line here in Tennessee. But that's where things are with OSHA. That's all I have for you right now. I love you. God bless you. Stay strong. Stand firm. Happy New Year to you. Follow us. Follow the Stand for Tennessee PAC. Let's get ready for 2022. Elections are coming. We've got to fix our elections, and we have to get these evil people out of office, y'all. We have to do better and hold the line in our state. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.